Hello everyone, this is Tejaswini MCOM Final MPM Government First Grade College Karkala. Today I will explain about interest rate options. This is a topic under International Financial Management. Firstly, we have to know what is interest rate option. It is a financial derivative that allows the holder to benefit from changes in interest rates. We all know that international financial market is not stable. Their interest rate is go on fluctuating from now and then. That is the reason the holders must be protected from such changes of interest rates. These interest rates helps the investors to speculate direction of interest rates. It is as similar as equity option and can be either a put option or a call option. That means interest rate options have two types, that is put option and call option. Interest rate options are option contract on the rate of bonds like US Treasury securities. Interest rate options allow businesses to protect themselves against adverse interest rate movements. Not only to the businesses, it also helps to companies and investors against unfavorable interest rates. But it also allow them to get the benefit of the favorable movements. They are also known as interest rate guarantees. Why? Because which assures minimum guarantee and or a minimum return to the investors. These options are like insurance policies. Firstly, you have to pay a premium to take out the protection. This is non-returnable whether or not you make use of the protection. If interest rate moves in unfavorable direction, then you can go for this insurance. If interest rates move favorable, then you just ignore the insurance. Now the question is, why this interest rate option? We all know that future is highly unpredictable. We cannot predict the future. There may be favorable or unfavorable interest rates. So in order to avoid risk and to be in a safer side, interest rate options are necessary. So they give the holder the right but not the obligation. These options give right to the holder, but it is not compulsory. In the case of unfavorable situation, holder may use it or may not use it. It is left to the holder. They give the holder the right but not the obligation either to buy the futures or sell futures at an agreed price at an agreed date. Before moving further, we should know what is call option and what is put option. Firstly, call option. A call option is an agreement that gives the buyer the right but not the obligation to buy the underlying asset at a specified price within a specified period of time. For example, if we take a company like Infosys, suppose the Infosys is currently trading at rupees 900. Here, a trader thinks that the current price of Infosys is undervalued and is expected to increase in the future. It is an assumption. Here, trader thinks that current value is undervalued and it will increase in the future. In this case, he is going to buy a call option, and while buying a call option, he pays premium. Suppose, according to his assumption, the price of the Infosys increases from 900 to 1000 at the date of maturity. Then the buyer will exercise the option since he has the right to exercise. In this case, the call buyer will buy the Infosys stock from the seller at rupees 900 and seller is obligated to sell at rupees 1000 as per the agreement. The net profit of the call buyer is 1000 minus 900, that is nothing but premium which he have paid while purchasing the call option. If the stock price decreases, if the stock price decreases below rupees 900 at the expire date, then the call buyer will lose the premium paid to the call seller. This is about call option. Next one is put option. A put is an agreement that gives the buyer of the put option the right but not the obligation to sell the underlying asset at a specified price within a specified period. Now we take the same example where the Infosys is currently trading at rupees 900. But in this time, trader thinks that the current price of Infosys is overvalued and is expected to decrease in the future. Here, under call option, he thinks that the current value is undervalued and it will going to increase in the future. But here he thinks that it is overvalued and it will decrease in the future. Based on this assumption, he will going to buy the put option and pays a premium to the put seller. Suppose the stock price drops from 900 to Indian rupees 800. In this case, the buyer buys the stock from the stock market at rupees 800 and sells it at rupees 900. So gains rupees 100, that is nothing but premium which he have paid while purchasing put option. If the stock price rises, then the buyer will lose only the premium amount. These options can be exercised in two cases, while borrowing and while depositing. Let's see using options when borrowing. When using option, the borrower takes out an option to sell future contracts at today's price or another agreed price. Let's say that the price is 95. Today's price is 95. An option to sell is known as a put option. Put option is nothing but an option to sell. Think about putting something for sale. That means think about putting something for sale. If interest rate rise, the future contract price will fall. Let's say the future price will be 93. Therefore, the borrower will buy at 93 and he will exercise the option by exercising the right to sell at 95. The gain on the option is used to offset the extra interest that has to be paid. If the interest rate falls, the future contract price will rise. Let's say 97. So clearly the borrower would not buy at 97. He will going to buy at 95 only. Then exercise the option to sell at 95. So there is no profit and no gain. So the option is allowed to lapse. Here he can use the option in order to avoid loss, and the business will simply benefit from the lower interest rates. Next one is using options when depositing. When using options, the investor takes out an option to buy future contracts at today's price or another agreed price. Let's say today's price is 95. An option to buy is known as call option. If interest rate falls, future contract price will raise. Let's say it will raise to 97. The investor would therefore sell at 97 and exercise the option to buy at 95. The gain on the option is used to offset the lower interest that has been earned. If interest rate rises, then the future contract price will fall. Let's say it will come to 93. Clearly, the investor would not sell the futures at 93 and exercise the option by insisting on their right to sell at 95. So he will use his option to sell at 95. The option is allowed to lapse. The investor enjoys the extra income from the higher interest rate. Options therefore gives borrowers and lenders a way of guaranteeing minimum income and maximum cost while leaving the door open to the possibility of higher income or lower cost. These heads I win, tails you lose benefit have to be paid for, and a non-returnable premium have to be paid up from to acquire the options. However, there can be a gain or a loss due to unwinding the transaction, which is the difference between premium originally paid for the option and the premium received from the unwinding contracts. Limitation of interest rate options. Since interest rate options are European based options, they can't be exercised early like American style options. However, the contract cannot be unwound by entering into an offsetting contract, but that's not the same exercising the option. Investors must have a sound grasp of the bond market when investing in interest rate options. That means investor must have a sound knowledge of the bond market while investing in interest rate options. Treasury and bond yields have a fixed rate attached to them, and treasury yields move inversely to the bond prices. Here, interest rate options are European based options. They can't be exercised like American style options, and the investor must have sound knowledge about bond market while investing in interest rate options. As yield rises, the bond price will falls. Why? Because existing bondholder sell their previously purchased bonds, since their bonds have a lower paying yield than the current market. In other words, in a rising rate market, existing bondholders don't want to hold their lower yielding bonds to maturity. Instead, they sell their bonds, wait to buy higher yielding bonds in the future. As a result, when rates rise, bond prices fall because of the sell off in the bond market. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you all understood this topic. Thank you.